It's Chris Daly here. And as usual, we are delighted to bring Jamaicans doing really great stuff, making impactful stuff. And we have another great person. We have Mr. Roger Williams. He's a Virgin artist beyond the show you might have heard of. If not, you'll hear about it tonight. Let's show them love. This powerful film courageously tackles the sensitive issue of HIV/AIDS, discrimination, and mental health awareness, challenges perceptions, and fosters empathy. So join us and implore this inspirational piece of work by Mr. Williams. Welcome, Mr. Williams, to our conversation.
Welcome, Mr. Daly. First, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always good to have great people like yourself. So let's
Yes.
start and give people a little about you. Tell us a little about your yard roots.
Well, I'm from rural Jamaica in Manchester. I was born in Porus, but when I was 1 year old, my mom moved to Mile Gully, and came back from Mile Gully when I was about 6 years old. And I grew up poor enough, but grew up in the church. Definitely, I grew up at the same time. I grew up around a lot of elderly people we will learn from, elderly Rastafarians too. So we kind of have that roots. I love animals from I was a boy. I love roots reggae music because I said I grew up around a lot of Rastafarians. So
Yes.
even when I migrated in 2008, I still keep my roots up. I never tried change to twang. I just love my Jamaican culture, and I try to live up to that and just be myself.
Oh, neat. Okay. So give us a little, you grew up there, then you migrated there in 2008.
Yes. I after school, because I major in drama from
Okay.
7th grade, come up and did well in drama. Did my first play after I left school at the community center. A play called "A Stone at the Builder Refused," which we would eventually rewrite and modernize this year. And somebody saw it, my performance on that VHS. Mr. Martin McPlanner, who is spiritual advisor to Bob Marley, and he suggested I go to Kingston and further my acting career. So 1998, I moved to Kingston. I did some plays for Balfour Anderson, and then I widened my wings and moved to Jambies International. And I did a few plays with Jambies. One of the most popular one is Class of 73, where I played the Sock Finger. I also did the Rasno and the Ark, but I migrated into to the United States in 2008.
Got you. So let's back up 1 minute before you got here. You seem like you were inspired to get into this calling of theater and the arts. What kind of motivated you there? Was it somebody or something that kind of triggered that love for the arts?
Well, I used to show movies for a living.
Okay.
From I was 12 years old. I used to sweep out the theater. I used to be the one who pick up the theater, the paper and stuff, sweep it out, and I would go in free. So I was inspired to be an actor by watching all these Hollywood movies. But by my drama, I must say my drama teacher, Mr. Godfrey Rock, may God rest his soul. May his soul rest in peace. He discovered my talent. And when I was in 7th grade, and he had me did a one-man skit. I think Norman Washington Manley. I played the role of Norman Washington Manley in a one-man skit. And from there, I just excel in drama. Did well at the JCDC drama finals, and that's what motivated me as to go into acting.
Fabulous. This is great. But
in 2004,
go ahead.
In 2004, I won which is my hardest role for a play called Downside Up, written by a former Cayman politician, Frank McField. He wrote a very, good drama, very deep, an internal drama called Downside Up, and I played the role of Montero, a mentally disturbed boy, a normal 10-year-old. I played him at normal 10-year-old at age 10, and he's mentally disturbed at 17. And at the 2004 JCD Drama Finals, I won Best Overall Actor and Best Adult Actor for that performance.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's my hardest role to date because I had to be switching between the normal 10-year-old boy and the mentally disturbed.
Mental. Oh, wow.
At 17 on stage. So it was a hard role to play.
Boy, that's pretty hard. But I think that what your work here, let's show them love.
Yeah.
To me, that's a tremendous high calling that you did here.
Yes.
Um, what led you to even tackle such a di- difficult topic?
Well, I was living before, like, I think it was like 2008 or 7. I was somewhere in a community and we were playing dominoes, and somebody came by who had the full blown AIDS.
Mm,
And I saw how people shun him in the community, and I realized that this is something that needs to be addressed. So I penned a script about a group of people who is at a shop and they playing dominoes, and the HIV victim comes up and they turn him down. And by the end, we have a resolution. And I shop it to the Minister of Health in 2008, and the lady turned it down and said, "Mr. Williams, we're not taking that route." The way I
mm,
take the script, she said, "We're not taking that route." And I said, "Okay, ma'am, I'm coming back to pick up the script." And there's something that happens that I don't know if it's God, I don't know it's what, but when I went to pick up the script, as soon as I exit the Minister of Health and I'm coming down the step, I saw a man selling star, and right there
mm-hmm.
on the front page of the Star, I see, I'm going to paraphrase the headline here, like, 8 thugs give HIV victim ultimatum to leave community. And I was like, here I am at the Ministry of Health building,
Yeah.
picked up a script that was rejected, and as soon as I step out of the building, there's something in the news that's saying the same thing that I'm trying to educate people about.
Wow. You clearly thought that storytelling, the art and the power of storytelling
Yeah.
was a great, unique bridge to foster empathy. How did you get those kind of skills? You're actor now, you're a story writer, right? Talk to little us about that.
All right. So my first, okay, I grew up around elderly people. So I used to love storytellings. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the first person I used to tell me stories, my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think she deep down she really first introduced me to drama because she used to sing the Ernie Wilson Must Be a Duppy or a Gunman song, and I used to love it as a boy. I used to laugh. She used to um say thing like how Jacob Miller sing with the yeah, yeah. So she kind of introduced me to the drama, and I kind of like it. But growing up around elderly people, like the older people, I used to see how they tell the story when they pause, when they do things. So and with my drama, teaching at school, it helped me develop a good way of storytelling. But I realized that I have a special skill in writing on critical social issues, especially taboo topics. And it is Let's Show Them Love that really is a catalyst for me to realize that I have something going on artistic wise for addressing social issues, because somebody who was working at the Ministry of Health, who reviewed the script, who was below that lady said this. She wasn't in control, but she read the script and said, this is a very good play. This is a
Mm-hmm.
very good play. And you address the topic well. So I think it is I want to say inborn conception. It's a natural talent
It's a
because
God-given talent.
it's God given,
Yeah.
because I'm not saying I'm the best writer out of Jamaica, but when it comes to hitting social issues, I'm very adept at it.
All
It's
right.
my book. It's my book why animals have rights in Jamaica. A book called
Right.
Turn Up Blow Up. My book shine an international spotlight, and that's a very hard topic to address, to write. Animal cruelty. A lot of people said, how you manage to write a book about animal cruelty and don't get it to be graphic, because they know that if you had given that idea to many actors many screenwriters in Hollywood, even who win Oscar, they couldn't manage it the way I manage it. So
Yeah.
it's like a God-given talent, as you say, to really address these topics and make them entertaining and educational.
All right. So, as you develop the story, the storyline, after what you'd experienced with that gentleman at the domino table, what are some of the stuff that kind of surfaced that you said, "Gee, I need to have this in the story"? to kind of show the empathy of how people experience discrimination, not just from HIV, but they also linked it with mental health issues.
Yes.
Kind of flesh it out for us.
Okay, so initially it was just one scene at the shop. So when I realized, well, I suffered a broken ankle in the military and I was going through a lot of pain, and I'm not afraid to say I suffer from depression. And so when I realized that there's a stigma towards people who, if you said, you know what, you take medication or you have depression, people want to shun you like you're crazy or mad. Oh, you're mad, man. So I said, why don't I incorporate this in this film? Because I was motivated to rewrite the script because of my situation and that and the stigma towards HIV people. So I said, no, let me bring back the script and also include scenes and put in make the character more stronger, make him suffering from some form of mental issues, and I can use one stone kill two birds, as we say colloquially, and just raise awareness. Even though HIV stigma is going to be the main theme, why not I merge it with mental health and just raise awareness about it as well, mental health issues as well.
Okay, so it's an education in an entertainment way to get to the hearts and minds of people. What are some of the nuances that you use to really have that kind of impact?
All right, so I have a way when I'm writing, I just don't focus on the depressing side of the topic. I merge my stuff. My things are Let's Show Them Love is actually a dramedy. So I compose my stuff with comedy to make it educational. And I put things, a little small nuances to my screenplay that people can relate to. I pull from life, I pull from what I see around me growing up. And now that I'm a grown man, some of these things still exist in our society. So I include them in the script. The rum head, how they react, the road boy on the corner, how they react, what do they do, how each individual character plays a role in our society, whether it is good or bad, or whether it is just our perception of us until we see that via the film that, okay, there's a different outlook on things.
All right. So what are some of the specific actions or shift in their perception you want the viewers to see when watching your film? And how did they and how should they engage when they're dealing with people in such a vulnerable position?
Okay, the perception is that a lot of people think that, okay, if you have AIDS, if you touch something, you get it. Or you can't hug them, you can't shake their hands. So that is one of the things that I put, those are some of the things that I put in the film to educate people that, hey, sometimes it's when you don't educate yourself or somebody don't tell you about an issue, you may have a different opinion, a different outlook on it. So I specifically put those things to say, hey, we may hear about this disease, we may not know somebody who has it directly, but what if someone who has it, you don't know, and all of a sudden it's now known in the community? How would you react to that person who has it? How would your perception of what you think this disease is, how would it let you affect the friendship, especially if it is your family member has it? So these are the things that I put in the script to specifically put in the script to know that, hey, not because this guy has the HIV, you can still play domino with him. So I kill that perception. I think one of the effectiveness of this film, it kills or lessen the perception that if somebody has a disease as HIV, you can still interact with them.
Right. So have you gotten the feedback from the audiences who have seen it that they resonated with the message of the film? What
Yes,
kind of
man.
feedback have you gotten?
I get a lot of confession. I have one girl, she said, Roger, my family went through this because my mom has a shop, my sister has AIDS, and nobody wanted to come to the shop. My mom has to lock the shop. So now that we see this, I sent it, she sent it to her sister who has the virus, and her sister just love it. Actually cried because this is what her family went through. I have somebody sent me a message on Facebook and said, when I was going to school, I have the skin problem. And people think I have AIDS. And kids used to shun me, and it's just bad skin like psoriasis or something she had. So the
Right.
perception is that if you have these things on your skin, um, you know, you it's AIDS you have. And because growing up, when we hear about HIV, we have the perception that you have to be gay to have it. I don't know
Right.
nobody else, but we hear that. That's what a perception growing up, that anybody has AIDS, they are gay. That is a
Right.
perception that, I'm not telling nobody. We hear that in the village that I grew up around
Right.
Elderly. So that is even a perception that we kill in the movie because the guy has a girlfriend.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
no, but you see, and this is how I write.
That's good. So
I don't.
let me ask you this. Let's look at it from the other side. Has anybody who's had the disease seen it and given you any feedback as to how they think you've represented them and give them hope and resilience?
I have a friend who have HIV. I have a
Okay.
friend who has
What's their
HIV,
feedback?
and she said, Roger, this film, it's. I think she said, actually, she think everybody who need to see it, even who don't have film, because she didn't want to come out to her family. She didn't want to come to her family, even though yes, she did come to her family before the film. But she said, what if she does not have this? A lot of people out there don't have the courage, the strength to come forward. She said this film can be used. I'll go further than that. Kabu from IRFM, from the Running African show, when we did an interview, she interviewed me and the cast. And she said, Roger, if I was the person in charge of HIV, Let's Show Them Love would have been the top educational material to be used to raise awareness in Jamaica. Kabu said that in the RFM interview.
Wow. This is good. So it was a hard topic, but what are some of the difficult moments that you face as you put together the script and to navigate the complexity of all of this issue? What are some of the delicate, tough moments you faced?
All right. So one of the things, finance. Because
Okay.
no matter how you have a good script, it needs to be finance.
Yes.
I realized that I couldn't get any sponsor. From especially from those who you think HIV people are reach out to organization in Jamaica. They don't reply. So what do I do? This is a very important script that needs to get out there. What do I do? I had no choice but to dip in my own. I pulled 6,000 US, a little over 6,000 out of my own money, something that was putting down to help buy a piece of land in Jamaica. And I dip in the money and I said this is very important. So since Minister of Health turned on the script in 2008. And yes, I did not go back to them, but I didn't motivated to go back to them. But when I see that one of the top organizations in about HIV in Jamaica did not return my email, I said, you know what? Let me just sacrifice. And I pull my money and finance the film. The other hurdle with this sensitive topic in Jamaica, there's this thing when it comes to acting that a lot of people think you are the character that you play. So I
Yeah.
had problem finding somebody to play the HIV role because people
Right.
don't want to
Right.
think
They
about
figured they're
HIV.
going to be
They
stigmatized.
exactly have it. And remember, we don't really have the budget to import a really strong actor from Kingston. So my drama teacher, Mr. Godfrey, he said, Roger, why don't you play the role? Because one, it needs somebody who can show deep emotions. Because if it's mental health, he have the issue, he's going through a lot of stuff. We don't have the money to put the people from town, the professional. And even if you going to use somebody's professional from Kingston, not every actor can internalize a role. Yeah, some people they're good, but they only can play characters that comedy that's on the surface. They cannot internalize a character. And Billy, we need someone who could internalize to show you. If you watch the film, there's couple minutes when I don't say anything. Billy does not say anything. All he's showing is emotions. You need an actor who can do that. That's why my drama teacher, Roger, why don't you do it? But I said, Mr. Rock, I'm co-directing, I'm producing, I'm doing this. And he said, Roger, you have to do it because Billy is the strength. If it fails, then the entire movie fails. have to convince. Billy has to be played by somebody who can have to convince that he's going through this without even verbalizing it. So that is one of
Right.
the ways how I navigate that challenges by playing the character for myself. And I must say one thing before I move on. Big up to my director, co-director, Mr. Ned Anderson, because I deal with the actors and he deal with the crew and the editing. Very talented. He's from Porus too. Mr. Ned Anderson, very good, talented director. We couldn't do it without him and the actors themselves.
Wonderful. So, it's how long it's been out, and how can people actually support, or are there other initiatives that are happening that to help get this message embedded in other places?
Okay, it's on for even though I spend all that money, it's on YouTube and I did not monetize it. It's there for free that everybody. I even address people like the Manchester, the CDC and tell them to use it for free. I tell the St. James Health Department you can use it. So even though the Minister of Health didn't support it initially, I still give. I said I even emailed them. I said you guys can use it in meetings, so people can go to YouTube and type "Let's show them love," and people have sent it around to other people who they know have going through stuff, and whether mental health or HIV, and it's helped. So it's there on YouTube. Let's show them love to be utilized.
I'd like for people to show you some love by giving comments or likes or some feedback on what you have. Would that something we'd like to encourage people to do?
Yes, man. Yeah, it have very good comment. John Public is what support this, and the more people comment, the more people like, the more people share. It shows the talent. And the thing about what I want people to know, I train the people who act in this. We have one professional from town, Mr. Balfour Anderson, within it. But I train these people who. So this is also not. It's more than just a film. It's like a social intervention program.
Right.
We use people in the regular people in the community. I train them to play the role. That's why it is such an important project, because I feel like in order to to educate people, why not just use regular people to play the
Yeah,
part?
I like
So
that.
that's why it's so effective too.
Boy, your conviction and your commitment to this shines. So I just like to salute you for this sacrificial offering that you've given to our community.
Yeah, to the country, to the nation.
Yes, exactly. So, with all of the skill that you have, what else can we expect from your artistic expression going forward?
Okay, so we open up in Porus because I created uh we co-founded a drama group in Porus called the Manchester Heights Drama Group to
Mhm.
showcase, to help people who have talent, who don't have any platform to showcase their talent. We create the Manchester Heights Drama Group, and we did our first play, The Stone That the Builder Refused, co-written by me, Mr. Hugh Douglas Scott, and Mr. Barrington Timex Powell. And we open it in Porus on Easter Sunday. And there's an
Mhm.
article in the Jamaica Observer that says stage play breathes life into Porus. It's a very thought-provoking play. It's on pause. We tested it out in Mandeville. We tested it out in Porus, and it did well. So we currently looking promoters who can take up that play and bring it across the island and also bring it overseas. It's a very thought-provoking play about a Rastafarian boy who grows up in a Christian home, and when he discovers Rasta just before he graduated in school, and then his Christian parents does not does not support his lifestyle, especially his cantankerous father, who is a pig farmer. So it's a very
Oh,
important.
gee.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very important play conceptualized by Mr. Barrington Time, no, by Mr. Hugh Douglas Scott, and was written 1988 by the two of them, and I modernized in last year. I lensed it and modernized it, and a very, very thought-provoking play, and people can read that article and learn more about me, the group. So just Google Jamaica Observer, stage play breathes life into Porus, the stone that the builder refused. And I also wrote another short film on a very sensitive topic. And this is going to be the Manchester High Heights Drama Group first film. So the stone that the builder refused is their first play, and this is going to be their first film. But I cannot say what it is because I realized that when you send out stuff, it's either the people they don't respond to you, or they tell you, oh, we were just thinking about, we were working on something like this, so we realize that we have to keep hush hush. But my objective is to help the youth in Jamaica show their talent in a positive way. We don't have any support. Some people are skeptical to support me because I write provocatively. But I have to just keep going on because I write blunt, I tell the truth. I highlighted animal cruelty in Jamaica, and the system doesn't really too fancy me for that. But I've seen how my book has helped countless animals. It has saved a lot of animals' life and opened a lot of people's eyes about animal cruelty. I am the one who shined a spotlight on the stray dog situation in Montego Bay. And 3.5 months after my book, Only Animals Allowed in Heaven, was released, they had to take up 144 dogs and send them to Canada. So I'm a very influential writer. And I write bluntly. So people can see more about me. I have a book out called The Boys, the Plants, and the Animals, about how habitat loss in Jamaica affect animals and how bauxite can affect animal habitat. So my topics are very provocative. So, bigger heads are skeptical about my work. But
all right, given that your topics is very controversial, have you had what is the church's engagement with you? Have you get pushback, or have you been embraced? What would you say the church's engagement, given that you have such a deep reservoir of compassion for both animals and people?
I don't get any support from church. I mean, I took on animal cruelty single-handedly. When I wrote Turn Back Blow and published it in 2013, no one came to my rescue, no animal sanctuary. This is a book that makes people threaten not to visit Jamaica again until the Jamaican government do something about animal cruelty. I was on my own. As I said, those who were supposed to support me, like the animal shelters, animal organization in Jamaica, no one came to my rescue. So it'll show you my resilience and my determination. Once I set my mind on something, that I'm going to raise awareness of the issue, no matter what the hurdles I go through, I am going to get that book published. I'm going to get that movie made. I'm going to get that book written. So I believe that God chose me to do what I'm doing. And if God chose you to do something, or when God chose you to do something, you're going to be get fight by the devil. And you have to tell the devil that you are stronger. And anything in life that you're doing and it's going on too easy, question it.
Okay. So if people would like to contact you, what's the best way of doing that? Do you have a Facebook page, a website, or what's the best means, or Instagram?
Facebook, Roger O. Williams author page. I have my YouTube.
Roger O. Williams
author page, yeah, and Instagram. A lot of people on Instagram. That's author ROG. Spell the word author, and that's add the 3 first letters of my first name. So it's author ROG on Instagram. People can link me on that. And just one correction about the church. The play. It was a provocative play. It was a provocative play that has touched on Christianity. So we did get some support play-wise for the play. We did get some support for a lot of church people, I must say, because it was curious. They were curious to see if the guy was going to trim in the end, or if he's going to go back, stick to his Rasta ways. So the church did support the play. I have to give them prop for that. And I know when a promoter picked up the play, Christians are going to watch it. But for me as a writer, I have to reach out to the church per se, but I'm sure I was all over the internet advocating for animal rights, and I didn't say any organization or so come to my rescue. But rest assured, I'll continue
that experience. But I think here's what you're invaluable instead of reaching a special younger demographic where it's not just words, but you're doing films, using other media to actually impress minds in a very positive way.
Yes.
So my prayer is that the church will wake up and actually appreciate the medium and the platform that you're giving it to actually practice great compassion.
Yes, man. Yes, of course. I'm not anti the church. I'm not against the church. And you see,
No, I'm not anti the church either, but I'm here being provocative myself to try to encourage the church to actually look and embrace you and see you as a great medium in
yes,
which you
yes, yes,
influence love. That's alike.
yes,
And to
definitely.
build
And
relationships.
yeah, I understand. And as you touch on that, I am open to collaboration.
Good,
I'm
good.
open to collaboration. I'm open to collaboration. I have nothing against the Jamaican government. I have nothing against the Minister of Health. Even though they had turned on the film initially, I'm still open. That's why I reached out to the St. James Health Department, because regular people, John Public, see my value. They see what I'm doing. I've gotten a lot of compliments from John Public. So I hope the government wakes up. The church can contact me because there's so many issues to address, and I think I've been told that I'm doing a very good work, and I must continue. Eva Cabo, she's such an inspiration. She was like, Roger, keep on writing. So people are out there, they see my work, they acknowledge what I'm doing, and they know that I'm an influential writer, and I am adding good things for the Jamaican nation. I'm bringing, I'm delivering. I always tell people that I'm overseas. I could be one of them who are buying and selling guns to Jamaica to destroy the youth. But I sacrifice, I use my own money just to make Jamaica a better place. Not only for
Thank
human
you.
beings, but for animals. And people see that and recognize it. And I think the Jamaican government, deep down, they know they just need time to come around and see the value of what I'm doing. And this next short film that I'm going to do to educate the people on on a topic, yeah, people are gonna see that yes, we are doing good work,
Good.
especially to create the Manchester High Heights Drama Group, who is just a
All
talented
right.
group.
We're about at the end of time here. I just want to thank you profusely for your commitment and for this wonderful piece of work. Let's show them some love. Let's show Mr. Williams some love by going to watching it, sharing it with your community, with your friends, and let him know that he's on the right track in making a difference in a positive way. So thank you so much, Mr. Williams.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.